Hello everyone, I just thought I'd make a really quick video to introduce mailing list magic to you. My name is Claire. If you don't know me, I am an engagement consultant and creative mentor, and I absolutely love Substack. I had a mailing list over on MailChimp from about 2017, and I wrote on that mailing list every single month a lovely letter called Notes from the Sea. And I thought I had a mailing list. I thought, yep, that's my mailing list. It was about 350 people, something like that. And I don't know what the open rates were. I never used to check them. I just used to think, yep, I've got a mailing list. That's something that I've got. When I invested more in my business in terms of what I could do digitally after the pandemic, I realized that a mailing list was far more than that. A mailing list was a group of people who were really interested in hearing from me more regularly, and a group of people who were interested in how I was building things behind the scenes, my offers, my life here on the Northumberland Coast. It felt a much more intimate space to speak to people. When I joined Substack in April 2022, I really joined it to write. I wanted to find a space for long form writing, and that's why I joined Substack. But I very quickly realized that this kind of blog newsletter hybrid was an incredible place for creatives, because it offers not just a blogging platform and a website, but also a newsletter format where you can kind of reach people in their email inboxes. Also podcasting, it's a podcast host, and you can also offer video there. So it felt much more like a digital magazine. They call themselves a kind of an alternative social network. And I guess it is a social network, but it's a social network around depth of connection. And that's the difference. So for me, logging into MailChimp, writing something, just felt very abstract. I didn't know where it was landing. You know, I got the odd couple of replies here and there, but nothing really. And when other creators would say, oh, I'm just going to reply to all my replies, I would think, I haven't got any replies. Like, is it my writing? Is it me? Like, what is it? Then on Substack, everything changed. I got more replies than I could deal with at one point before Notes came in. So Notes is like Substack's kind of Twitter app, if you will, but it's nicer. It's much nicer. And before Notes came in, the only place people had to respond and to chat was in the comments of your posts, which were sent out on email and also existed in the Substack app. So people would log onto desktop or use the app on their phone to reply. And I found that I just had this huge depth of connection to all of these incredible creative humans all over the world, all of a sudden. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And the main thing that I hear from people just starting out on Substack, or maybe they've been there a few months, is how on earth do you grow? How do you grow your Substack? I'm sharing it on my social media. Nobody's coming over. I've tried LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I've been everywhere. How do you grow your Substack? Now, I grew my Substack to nearly 1,000 subscribers. I'm nearly at 1,000 subscribers now, which it's not about the numbers, but that feels a big number of mailing list subscribers when I've gone from sort of right into a group of 350 people for years. And I grew from within the Substack network. So I want to talk in this masterclass about how I've done that, but also relate some of the lessons that I learned along the way around what I was doing to almost self-sabotage before. So I really wasn't aware of this, but I think that with all of us, sometimes we just kind of build walls up to keep ourselves safe. If we're not trying, if we're not doing it, if we're not putting ourselves out there, then we're safe because there's no rejection. And I honestly think that is the biggest lesson that I've learned by just cultivating a writing practice on Substack and reaching people and having that depth of response and that incredible amount of response. You know, we're so used to posting something and not having a response on social media, or posting a set of stories and having all of these kind of skulkers and viewers and nobody says a word, and it's become so odd. You know, that's not human experience. That's not what we're used to. We've not had long enough to get used to people not responding because they're kind of consuming content like entertainment. Substack is not entertainment. Substack is a place for depth of connection. It's a place for sharing your creative, authentic voice, and not feeling those same vulnerability hangovers that you might do on other platforms, because there's a response. There's a lovely response. So in the masterclass, I want to teach you some things, and I also want to pull out strategy for you, and I want to address what we're doing. What are we doing and why are we showing up in so many places? What's that about? If you're not a celebrity, and celebrities, feel free to join in my masterclass, that's no problem. If you're not a celebrity and you've not got a team of people to help manage your online content, why on earth are we telling ourselves we're going to show up across all of the platforms as much as possible? Nobody wins that game. Nobody can win that game. It's just not possible. What we need to do is be really strategic around what we want to share and when, what platforms we want to use and why. And if that's seasonal, like maybe there's a season of showing up on Instagram and a season of putting it down. Maybe there's a season of shouting about your newsletter on LinkedIn and then putting it down. Maybe it's about dotting the I's and crossing the T's and making sure that you're mentioning in enough places and you've linked to enough places around where your newsletter exists. If you haven't got a Substack already and you would like one, feel free to join. It's completely free to join Substack. I do have another masterclass on it. If you want to do this one, but you also want the other one, feel free. Just drop me an email and I'll give you that first one for free. It's no problem if you're going to jump into this one. Tell me what you need. I'm here for you and I really want to share what I've learned so far in terms of growing my mailing list. If I ever decided to leave Substack, I own that mailing list, so I can take it to any other mailing list provider. So I could go over to Flowdesk, I could go back to MailChimp, I could do anything I want with those emails. They can unsubscribe if they want to, of course. But it's not like social media where you've got a list of followers and they might kind of come and go, but you haven't got them to move anywhere else. They exist on that platform and they keep you locked to that platform. I also want to say as well, in terms of using Substack as a mailing list provider, if it fits with you being a creative and a writer and you want to share your authentic voice, it's a brilliant platform because you can also be paid to write. So in a world where we are trying to show up so much all of the time in all of the places for free to drive shareholder profit for Meta and whoever else, platforms like Substack and YouTube, they would actually pay us. They would pay us to be on there. And I think that's probably the right way around. So there's opportunity there as well. I'm going to go into much more in the masterclass. You'll get a journaling document to start before we jump into the masterclass. We'll do about 75 minutes. The structure will be part masterclass, part workshop, part Q&A, and then I'll do a little set of wrap-up resources for you so that you can write your strategy, you know what you're doing, you feel really clear, you can navigate all of the stuff around vulnerability and how you feel and show up in a way that feels really, really good to you and grow your mailing list. So that's my pitch. If you've got any questions, do email me, drop me a DM on Instagram, let me know, but I can't wait to see you inside the masterclass. See you there.